Bonjour, thank you. On the matter of foreign interference, I wanted to make a few brief comments about the developments that Mr. Poilievre, without top secret security clearance, is going to be able to get a briefing. Il n'y a pas une question, jamais une question, que c'est possible pour le chef de l'opposition officielle de recevoir un briefing de CSIS dans le cadre de renseignement non secret. Ce n'est pas une question. It was never a matter of debate whether the leader of the official opposition, Mr. Poilievre, could receive a non-top secret briefing. But the question for me, and this is something I haven't said publicly, but it needs to be said, now that we have more specific testimony as to what the nature of the foreign interference in the federal party leadership race was, if that's all there is, which we don't know, the only thing that gives rise for me to doubt whether Mr. Poilievre is in some way compromised is his refusal to subject himself to inquiry by CSIS and other aspects of our intelligence establishment to whether or not he is cleared to receive top secret information. In other words, c'est jamais une question est-ce que M. Poilievre est disponible pour les rencontres avec l'agent sécuritaire. La seule question, c'est est-ce qu'il est capable de réussir dans l'enquête sérieuse pour devenir quelqu'un avec le plus haut niveau de notre système sécuritaire pour l'intelligence. It's not a matter of receiving top secret security clearance if you ask for it. And I think in a lot of our coverage, there's been that assumption. Why won't he ask for it? Or even worse, why won't he get it? The only thing that for me represents a concern about whatever may be in Mr. Poilievre's background is his own decision not to subject himself to the review required to receive top secret security clearance. Having gone through that process myself, I know it's not a matter of ticking a few boxes. They really want to know, I've phrased it this way before, are you blackmailable? Is there something in your background that would mean you could be at risk of someone feeling they had something on you, you owe them something, and at that point, the intelligence community of this country that reviews top secret security clearance might say, no, we don't think you should have it. So Mr. Poilievre could clear this up very easily. It's his decision entirely. All the other opposition party leaders have cleared top secret security clearance. I'm not suggesting he wouldn't. The only thing that raises doubts in my mind about whether he is in any way compromised, either by foreign interference or by something else, is his own refusal to go through the process. So get that out there. Want to be very clear, I'm not making accusations, but Mr. Poilievre's conduct is troubling to me as a fellow parliamentarian. And again, it's not the first time I've been asking him in writing now since June of last year, please get your top secret security clearance. It may or may not be available to him.
Aidez-moi à comprendre, vous dites parce qu'il refuse, ça soulève des doutes.
Absolument. Et maintenant, il a refusé de faire la demande pour entrer le processus, de recevoir, peut-être il y a quelque chose il a inquiétude, peut-être il n'est pas à un niveau sécuritaire pour notre institution sécuritaire d'intelligence.
Et pourquoi est-ce que vous doutez plus aujourd'hui qu'il y a un mois?
Non, c'est pas plus. C'est seulement qu'avec le passage de temps, nous avons arrivé à ce moment où il a dit comme il était quelque chose de nouvel, c'était une question seulement pour moi. Now that we know that he can accept a CSIS briefing, and this was treated as news. I didn't think it was news. I thought that was pretty obvious all along, that if CSIS was prepared to prepare a briefing that did not include top secret security information that they could not pass to someone who lacked the clearance, that's not news. But what I felt increasingly was not being said out loud, so I wanted to say it out loud. The only reason that I have doubts about Mr. Poilievre's potential, I mean, we have MPs we've talked about being witting or semi-witting in terms of foreign interference. Did they know? Should they have known? The only thing that raises doubts about Mr. Poilievre for me as a loyal Canadian is why won't he subject himself to the questions of CSIS and other security establishment agencies to absolutely make it clear to Canadians he's not compromised.
Il dit, lui, que s'il prend ce brefage et cette code secret-là, il va se sentir muselé. Il l'a répété à plusieurs reprises.
Oui.
Est-ce que vous acceptez cette raison-là?
Non, je pense que c'est une raison sans raison. C'est une excuse, mais ce n'est pas une raison pour laquelle il a fait la décision qu'il a fait. It doesn't make sense. Obviously, I had top secret security clearance. I've never talked to the media as much in my life as I did after I had top secret security clearance and navigated my way through saying, this is what I can tell you, this is what I can't tell you, but I want to reassure Canadians that, for instance, there's no list of MPs who are traitors to this country. That was, I think, important to do. I've never understood Mr. Poilievre saying, if I was to get top secret security clearance, that would mean I was gagged. It's true to this extent. You can't break the law. So when you have sorry, Chris.
Just a separate subject, we wouldn't mind. I believe Mr. Trump on his Truth Social this morning greeted the Prime Minister as the governor of the 51st state, something along that line. Have you seen that? Do you have any thoughts about that, about the dynamics of the relationship?
I haven't seen that, but so I probably shouldn't comment. Just that with the Truth Social post of Donald Trump planting a Canadian flag on a Canadian mountain, I have to say that to the extent that this 51st state thing was a joke, it's not funny. And I find that pursuing it on social media makes me increasingly nervous. Mr. Trump has, we have to be very, very careful with the president-elect, and we have to pull together, I think, all opposition party leaders and premiers, all elements of the Canadian political establishment, such as we are, better pull together to make sure we don't create any cracks that allow Fox News or Mr. Trump's social media to exploit us and say things about Canada that aren't true.
Je veux revenir sur M. Poilievre, parce que c'est sérieux ce que vous dites, et je suis sûr que vous avez pesé la sérieuseté de tout ça avant d'en parler,
Oui.
parce que vous êtes en train, ni plus ni moins, de soulever la possibilité que M. Poilievre, il refuserait son brefage parce qu'il serait lui-même potentiellement sujet à, éventuellement, en le sachant ou pas, de l'influence étrangère. Alors pourquoi, malgré, sachant que c'est sérieux ce que vous êtes en train de dire, pourquoi vous voulez quand même le dire?
Ouais. C'est pas la question, ce n'est pas qu'il a refusé le brefage. Il a accepté le brefage. Mais le brefage n'est pas prêt pour quelqu'un qui manque le niveau sécuritaire. Oui. Alors, pour moi, je pense que c'est important de dire clairement, parce que M. Poilievre, évidemment, chaque journée, il dit qu'il sera le prochain Premier ministre du Canada. Alors, pour nous, comme citoyens, nous avons le droit de rester en confiance que tous les chefs des partis en recevoir le niveau de confiance de CSIS, de GRC, de tous les agences sécuritaires et pour l'intelligence du Canada. Ils tous restent dehors de ce processus. Et je pense que la seule raison possible pour moi, la raison qu'il offre manque de sens. Alors, c'est possible, je ne veux pas faire ça comme une déclaration, mais il reste possible qu'il n'était pas disponible de prendre le processus de rendre son position comme tous les autres chefs de l'opposition avec le haut niveau sécuritaire parce qu'il a lui-même les doutes qu'il ne va pas réussir à cause de quelque chose secret. Ça, c'est seulement pour lui d'enlever ses doutes. C'est à lui d'enlever les doutes pour accepter le processus de recevoir, je pense que non, c'est un infinitif, c'est pas vrai. Alors, de recevoir son top secret security.
Because that's quite serious what you're saying. You're saying the only reason you can see that Pierre Poilievre is refusing his security clearance is the only thing you can see is that because he would be subject to himself to political interference, either willingly or unwillingly or wittingly or unwittingly.
But political interference, they ask you a lot of questions when you go through top secret security clearance.
Knowing that it's a serious allegation, why do you feel that, or a suspicion, why do you feel it's important to say it out loud anyway?
I think it's important for Canadians to ask themselves the questions, and for Conservative voters in particular to ask their leader, get rid of this doubt, Pierre. Just let the security establishment put you through the same paces and ask the same questions that they already have for Ms. May, Mr. Singh, Monsieur Blanchet. Tous les autres le fait déjà. Pour moi, avec le passage de temps, je suis plus en plus inquiète. Pourquoi, Monsieur Poilievre? Il a refusé encore et encore de prendre les étapes que tous les autres ont déjà prises. Ce n'est pas compliqué, mais avec le passage de temps, j'ai plus d'inquiétude qu'avant. It's if he has something there that would mean he's subject to blackmail or subject to a foreign power saying you owe us something. Right now, you're in our pocket. You're not able to fulfill your duties as a Canadian because you have in your background somewhere. And he doesn't have a long background. I mean, I always find it funny when we debate pensions and he says Mr. Singh only wants his pension. I'm like, hey, Mr. Singh can go back to his previous job. He was a lawyer. Mr. Poilievre doesn't have a background in a profession that we know of. I mean, there's a rumor he once worked at Dairy Queen, but so far nobody's proved it. But look, he's got a good pension. It's not about pensions. It's just he doesn't have a whole lot of history here where I could imagine that he's done something that means he can't get top secret security clearance. The only reason I doubt Mr. Poilievre's integrity as a loyal Canadian is that he's refusing to prove it in the easy way that's laid out for him. Thank you. Merci.